I have 20 rows done. Now I'm going to do the band. Okay, I'm going to do about 10 rows for the band. So I'm going to knit one row, and what I do, because I don't feel like counting down 10, I'm going to take and convert every other stitch to a rib. I'm doing this so when I knit the remaining 9 rows, I will be able to find the 10th row without too much of a inconvenience to me. Now, again, I don't like how these stitches kind of grow out at me, so I take my 1/2 inch board and set it between the nubs and the retaining bar. It makes converting the stitches for me easier. And another way I do it, when I do the 9 rows, I'll show you. I'll set up the 9 rows so that it's easier on me. But just for one stitch, I'm not going to mess with it. I'll show you what I'm talking about in just a moment. Now when you do the second sock, which I'm not going to film, instead of doing your short rowing on this side of the machine, you'll be doing your short rowing on this side. Because there is a left and right to this sock. Whereas the altogether, it's the same either way. But with this one, if you wanted to put a design up the wrist portion of it, you can. And we are almost done. All I got to do is the stitching of it. And what I do is it's kind of like a modified Bickford stitch. Because I like a flat, I don't care if it can be really seen, but I do like a flat stitch on the inside of my sock. Which is one of the reasons I don't use the mattress stitch on this. If that didn't bother you, you could use the mattress stitch, then you wouldn't see the stitch very easily. Okay, there's my first row, and that's my what I call my base row. Okay, so now I'll knit 9 more rows. Alright, I got a needle forward or something. Try that again. What's it hitting? It's hitting something. Let me see again. Alright, so there's nothing back there. Put that up there. Nothing jamming there, nothing there. Ah! There they are. Some needles move forward on me. Alright. Something is jamming. I don't. Okay, something with the carriage. It's not the needles. Make sure it's not anything in the way there. There goes. No clue what it was. I just wiggled it, and it seems to have fixed it. Okay. Let me look. something. Put these over there. Push them back. I haven't a clue what it was jamming on. I pushed all the needles back into work position, and that seems to have taken care of whatever it was. Sometimes that happens. You'll have a jam and you'll have no clue what it is. It could have been a needle sticking up. Actually, what it probably was is this bar was sticking up just a little bit. And that is probably what it was. If it happens again, I'll pay attention to that. Okay, that one I'm not gonna worry about restitching because it's one that's gonna be converted, so I'm just gonna knit the row. Okay, now move my carriage out of the way. Now I have this needle selector that I made with polymer clay, and I have it attached to a ruler to give it a little bit more stability. And I just pull forward every other needle, not counting the first one. Let me get it all put. Okay. And I don't mess with the last one. Alright, so they're all forward. Now I've got a couple that I want to make sure that they're in the latches, because these I'm not going to be manipulating. Okay, I take my 1/2" board and slide it between the green retainer bars and my nubs. The reason I do that is that gives me the chance to put my tool here and push it off the machine, and then I ladder down. Okay, and just ladder back up. Now if you've got a 1x1 ribbing tool, you can feel free to use that. And what that is a tool that fits your hands, and it's got 2 latches in it. And these are not movable, so that they are fairly sturdy. I did make one with popsicle sticks, but the needles were shaky and I was not overly impressed with it. This I will at least use because the needles are not shaky and they're even. They are set up to the machine, so they are 16 millimeters apart, because it's every other needle. Now when I put these back on the row, I like my needles, my latches open if possible. I put one on and then I put the other one on. Okay, and then in, out, down, and ladder up. And put onto the needle. If you don't open it up first, you don't have to. You can convert it. You can slip it on there anyway. Okay, and ladder back up. Well, now I made this with the intention for seed stitch, but it's not real convenient for seed stitch. It's quicker for me just to use the single tool. But for this, it works pretty decent. And if you don't want to make one of these, just email me. $12.50 counting shipping. Just let me know whether it's a right or left that you want. I do very little editing when I do this. You need to see all my bumps and issues and when things don't quite work out. I do that mainly so that you can understand how to correct a problem rather than presuming everyone knits perfectly every time, all the time. We don't. We have issues. We have stubborn needles that like to drop stitches. But I'm of the firm belief this is still quicker for me to knit this way than if I used the traditional needles. See, that's why I didn't reform that stitch when I dropped it, because I knew I'd be dropping it in here. This saves a little bit of time. And just ladder up. Now we're going to do the cast off we're going to do is like a loose cast off. It's just a stitched one going across. It's similar to the one in your book, which the one in your book you can do. Either one, it's whichever one you're most comfortable with. Separate the yarn, undo the stitches, and ladder back up. Set it back up, and then we'll start the cast off. This one didn't want to get on there right, so I just let it drop and I'll rehang it. Excuse me. Sometimes it's easy just to let it rehang. Right. Now what I want, I have a long piece at the toe, if you remember, to graft the toe together. So I only need enough to do the cast off, then the length of the sock, and I like doing it twice. I like giving myself enough room, so I really don't like putting a knot if I don't have to. Okay, put your tools away, which is one thing I usually forget to do. And I have little spots for my tools. It's not always in the same spot, but alright, so set my yarn aside, bring out a yarn needle. What I'm going to do is start going in the first stitch from the front to the back and going out the second stitch from the front to the back. Then now I'm not pulling it snug or tight, I'm pulling it just till it closes up the gap. Now I'm going in the first stitch again, skipping one stitch and going forward one more. So it's back one, forward two. Okay, back one, and I'm not pulling it real tight, just enough to close, like I said, to close up the gap. Forward two. You can do this from either side. Just in. Just follow this to the end, and then we'll be seaming this. Okay, back one. Doing it this way, you're putting 2 strands pretty much in each live stitch. And then I'll take my weights off. Then I'll take my machine, empty my machine, take my sock off, and then I will film. We will do this Bickford seam. You should be able to see it on this color, because with the green you can't really see it too well, or the dark blue that I did. So I did another one. Okay, just stitching across. These are just little anklets types booties. They're to kind of wear around the house. I have not made any on the bond with thin sock yarn. I think I've got some baby weight yarn I might be able to do it with on a key plate 1. I'll have to play with the numbers. Now, if you don't like working this close to the bed, you can pull them forward if you want. It's personal preference. I don't like the needles growing out at me. That's why I push them. And you can even push these back if you want. And as you go, you can take your weights off. Back one. See, I don't like coming real forward, going backwards. I like keeping the work forward of the, in the hooks of the needles. Because I always have an issue fighting with the needle. I have to do it one stitch at a time practically. And be careful of those stitches, those needles. They are a little on the sharp side. You can cause it to bleed. Back one. Forward two. Back one. Just follow the same pattern all the way across. You don't want to lift up too much like this, because you will pop your green bars, and that will make a mess. Just make sure you catch each stitch as you're going through. Otherwise your sock will unravel, at least at that one point, and then you'll just have to do a fake stitch. if you have any issues with the needles, you know, like you can't get your hand in there or something, what you can do is take these weights off and take this portion off the machine, which will give you a chance to hold on to it. Just take these off, and they'll get you able to get in there with your hand a little bit easier. Just go ahead and take off the rest of the weights. I'll hang them up later. Oh, that's what's heavy. Okay, back one and forward two. Now if you accidentally pull these off, just do the same action while you're sitting there holding it. Just make sure each stitch gets two. You're going to go into this each stitch twice. So I just pulled that off by accident. So just make sure you get in there. When I do the back one, I gotta go into this one here. That's all you have to do if you drop it off the machine. It's easier if you don't drop it off until you're ready to drop it off. Now when you get to the end, you're going to go in that last stitch twice, because each stitch does need at least two. Go back to the one, and because I pulled that off, I'm just going to get and pull it all off. Okay, and just come back in through that first loop, and you're ready. See how it's kind of a stretchy cast off, and there is my sock. I just have to seam it up, graft the toe. Now when I seam it up, what I do, give this a little tug first, because I want to even up with the stitches. Okay, I'm picking up the loop of the opposite side and coming down through the bump, up through the loop. Up through the loop, down through the bump, up through the loop, down through the bump. Just follow that all the way down until you get to the toe, and I'll be back. Okay, down through the bump, bumps back here, up through the loop. Okay, down through the bump, which if you have a hard time finding the bump, just flip it over, and that's the bump. Okay, up through the loop, down through the bump, and I'll be back when I get to the toe.